Hello and welcome to Tuesday's Lunch Break Live, where I share simple, applicable tips you can incorporate today to help you live your healthiest and happiest life. Today's topic is the all or nothing mindset. We're going to talk about how if you know if you have it or not, and one thing you can change right now to help you with motivation and to succeed and get you out of the all or nothing mindset. So really quickly, if you are watching, I would love you to say hello to me in the comments. And if you think you have an all or nothing mindset, in the comments, type all or nothing. And if you think that you do not have the all or nothing mindset, I want you to type moderation in the comments for me. I think some things are going to change your mind just a little bit today. So I am Kim Clinkenbeard. I have worked with thousands of people to reach their goals and take back their health over the last 30 years through fitness and nutrition. And today I help women 40 and over transform their minds and their bodies through my transformation program. So let's go ahead and get started, and it is the all or nothing mindset. So first things first, little fact, we all have an all or nothing mindset. It is just to varying degrees of it. And it can change from thing to thing within our lives. Some things we may be a little bit more apt to be in moderation, and other things we have an all or nothing mindset that's a little bit more polarized. So it's like a sliding scale where you have one degree and then the other degree, and moderation is somewhere in the middle, which means that we can learn this little technique and others to help move the needle back and keep us more in the moderate zone. So how do we do that? Well, let's start from the very beginning and talk about where we get an all or nothing mindset and whether or not you actually have that going on with your health goals. So we can all relate to January coming around. We have the New Year's resolutions. In the beginning of that, we're super motivated. We're excited. It's something new. We're determined. We're going to do it this year. We're going to lose weight this year. Maybe we have a plan, or we have at least a thought of a plan, an idea of a plan, and we take the steps to actually achieve weight loss as the goal, for example. So let's just say that as we're working through that beginning phase, we do have some wins along the way. We have reached a couple goals, we've lost some weight, maybe we've done a little bit better with our nutrition plan or our workouts or whatever that looks like. And then as the time goes by, we end up in what my coach likes to call the messy middle. And how do you know if you're in the messy middle? Well, you're fatigued, you're overwhelmed, you're a little bit frustrated, maybe you're not seeing those goals or those gains or those improvements like you did in the beginning or like you expected that you would at this point. If you feel like you are just defeated and you are lacking motivation, that is the messy middle. So how do we get through the messy middle? Because this is the place most everybody quits. And this is why we've never followed through. If you'll think back to last week's video, we talked about our brain is constantly seeking evidence to prove our core beliefs. And we have internal and external core beliefs. Internal is what we believe about ourselves, and external is what we believe about the world that we're in. And so if our brain is seeking evidence to prove what our core beliefs are, then we can change it and trick it a little bit. And I taught you one way to do that last week. But with this all or nothing mindset, you're really teaching your brain that yes, it has proven, it has sought evidence and has found it within the messy middle that you can't finish, you can't reach that goal, you're never going to make that change. Okay? So here's how you change it. Here's how you trick the brain And here's how you move past the messy middle to the end goal and actually finish. You need sight of the finish line, right? So what you need to do is celebrate your wins as you have them in the beginning. This is something that I teach my clients, and the ones who actually implement this step and they don't skip over it, they don't think that they need to skip over it, they recognize that they're going to do this, are the ones who work their way through the messy middle all the way to the finish line, and they do it healthier, better, and happier throughout the process. And they don't get stuck in the middle, plateau out, get frustrated, defeated, and want to quit. And their mental state stays more motivated and in a better place, more positive. So it is, you have to not just have a win, but you need to acknowledge your wins, no matter how small they seem or how big they happen to be. So maybe a win for you is that you just showed up, right? Maybe the win is that you're recording your wins, and maybe it's that you lost 8 pounds or 4 pounds the first week. It's insignificant what the win is. What the brain recognizes is that you won something, and there's evidence that you can succeed there. So even pick anything that is a win. If you made any teeny tiny change towards positive outcome that you're wanting, anything, just showing up, anything you did different towards that positive outcome, it is a win. And the next step is that you have to write it down. If you don't write it down, you will not remember, I promise. Your brain will not continue to register that. So, acknowledge it, write it down, and then you have to celebrate it. It is so important, and it might seem silly if it's not a huge win. We are conditioned that we only celebrate huge things, great big successes, great big accomplishments and changes. We don't celebrate the different smaller milestones along the way that we achieve to that big goal that we're working towards. It is so important not to skip this step. My clients who have gotten frustrated, and then we go back and we actually allow them to celebrate. And in order to truly celebrate, you need to share it with somebody. Don't skip that either. Let other people acknowledge your win, lift you up, encourage you, and celebrate with you. Give you some claps, some snaps, and help celebrate those. I don't care how small it is. Hey, I showed up to the gym today. Or, hey, I actually hired a coach today. That's a win. That's a step in a positive direction that you can count. And your husband or your spouse or your best friend can say, I am so super proud of you that you made that commitment. That is hard. It's hard and scary to finally decide you're going to invest your time and your money and hire someone to help you. And that deserves to be celebrated. So acknowledge it, write it down, share it, celebrate it, and then when you're in the messy middle, you have tangible data that you can go back to and reflect upon. If you never write this stuff down and you don't celebrate it, your brain doesn't register the proof and the evidence that you succeeded. So you're not changing a behavior, right? And you have no data to reflect upon if you didn't take just a brief moment each week to write down at least one win. At least one. That's all your brain needs. So I encourage you, grab your journal, write down your wins. You know, if we were going to do this stuff on our own, if we were going to lose weight on our own or change our mindset on our own, we would have already done that. If we were going to save our money and we were just going to do all the free stuff out there and that was going to get us our goals, we would have already accomplished that. So in order to get a different result, you have to do a different process. So if you're of the mindset that you're going to continue down the same road that you've been for years or decades and you're still stuck in the same problem, I encourage you today to step out in faith, trust yourself, have some courage and be brave and get the help you need. Hire the coach, join the program, do what you need to do to make something different, a change happen, and then record that as a win. You're training your brain to see positive wins as evidence and proof to yourself that you can make a change. You don't have to stay stuck in the same exact place another year, another month, another minute. We want to go into the holidays this year feeling healthy, mentally strong, and capable so that we can be present and actually enjoy the holidays and not feel weighed down by our emotions, our fears, our mindsets, limiting core beliefs, our weight, whatever it happens to be. We don't have to carry that into the holidays and knowingly carrying it into the new year, thinking that this is going to be the year I'm going to get it together and do this myself. You would have already done it by now if that's the case. So I'm going to leave you with the act of we have to take action. You can learn and know, but the Bible says don't just be hearers, be doers, right? And so if that's a spiritual act of worship as well, and so is taking care of your body. So we have to act and do to make any significant change. And so I encourage you to take that journal with any new thing that you've done towards a positive outcome and reaching your goal, whatever that is. Write it down as a win at least once a week. Keep a record of it so when you get in that messy middle, you have something to reflect upon. Don't forget to celebrate it. Don't forget to share it and let others celebrate with you no matter how tiny it may seem. Little tiny wins, teeny tiny successes over a period of time add up to huge monster results. I've had client after client, woman after woman, make these teeny tiny little changes and completely change their life. Not just their health, not just weight loss, their entire life. The entire way they think about themselves, the way they interact with other people and their family, the way they are successful in their work and their business, it overflows into every part of your life. So I encourage you to do that today. If you watched this video, I thank you so much. Even if it's live or if it's a replay, I thank you so much for letting me be a part of your day and you trusting me and giving me your time, which is one of your most valuable assets. I appreciate that. If you found value or help or encouragement here, please like, comment, and share below. And if you think you're an all or nothing mindset, I will do, which we all are, but if you think you're a polarized all or nothing mindset, I want you to type that in the comments, all or nothing. And if you think you're more in the middle, I want you to type moderate in the middle as well. So, thank you guys for watching. Like and share, and I will see you next Tuesday at 12:30 live right here on Facebook for another Tuesday lunch break. Thank you guys. Bye.